What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you a very interesting video again. I'm going to be doing this probably every day. I'm going to be uploading several times every day, so keep an eye out on my YouTube, out on my Rumble, rumble.com/tacticalgaming90 or just Tactical Gaming, youtube.com/tacticalgaming, tacticalgaming90. So, Representative Mike Johnson, Republican, questions ATF Director Stephen Dettelbach at House Judiciary Committee. So, I watched all these videos, and they were really good. I'm going to be doing several videos on this stuff. So, we'll get into it.
Nice. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act is a law that provides important immunity to manufacturers and sellers of firearms from being liable when people misuse their products.
So, law-abiding citizens. Now, right there, right, with what he was saying about manufacturers being liable for what people do with their stuff, right? Well, he's going to get into something here in a second, which is going to be very interesting, which is how people say that, oh, well, gun manufacturers are the only ones that you can't legally sue, which is bullshit. Because the fact of the matter is Pfizer, Moderna, like the companies that came out with the COVID vaccine that has been proven to do absolutely shit and actually has caused health concerns to everyone who's been given it. Everybody. Everyone has health concerns. Everyone has had adverse effects to it. And yet, nobody who's actually been able to, sue due to everything. And there's been people who've lost jobs, who've died, who been severely handicapped. And it's been all over the news. Now they'll sit there and go, "Oh, it's fake news, fake news, fake news." No, it's not.
There have been numerous instances, whether intentional or unintentional, of Biden administration officials and anti-gun advocates, and even the president himself,
Yep.
mischaracterizing that immunity provision that's contained in the statute. And I think the public would benefit from our setting the record straight on the issue. So, Mr. Dettelbach, as the director of ATF, you agree with President Biden that this law's broad immunity means blanket immunity, and that gun manufacturers are the only industry in America exempted from being sued by the public.
Which is false.
Again, I think the president has given numerous different times he's talked about this provision. Again, as
President
director,
is senile.
What Congress passes is what we deal with, and we don't do civil litigation in that sense.
So if that's true, and you're going to do what Congress says, then obviously you don't agree with the president. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but that's what that means.
Here soon, Dettelbach literally admits that they do what the president says. And I've been saying this in several videos that ATF, IRS, FBI all have been weaponized and armed to go after anybody who does not agree with Biden and his administration and or actively are trying to actually get them removed out of office. So if you're in their opposition, they will go after you. They will use those to go after you. Case in point, I did a video yesterday about how an IRS agent showed up to a witness's house to talk about the administration. I'm going to do another video on witness tampering on behalf of the Biden family and their lawyer. That's going to be my next video, so keep an eye out on that one.
I think the president has called on Congress to act. And what I'm saying is...
Just answer this question. As you interpret the statute, I assume you're familiar with the statute.
I'm familiar with the statute, but ATF doesn't do civil litigation.
I know that. It's not. Yes, sir. I know, but you're the director of ATF. You're familiar, for example, that vaccine manufacturers have some liability exemption for their COVID vaccines, right?
I actually am not familiar with vaccine law.
He's not familiar with vaccine law. It was literally all over the place. Matter of fact, actually, because I didn't want to get the vaccine, right? I was declined jobs because I refused to get the vaccine. There were security jobs that I wanted to get, and I couldn't get them because I refused to get the vaccine. And their companies were stringent on, oh, well, you need to be vaccinated. It's like, I don't want to be. Well, we can't hire you. So he, as the ATF director, cannot say that he does not know that they've been exempt because it was all over the news. And he cannot say he doesn't watch the news.
Americans are. Big tech companies are exempt from liability due to Section 230.
Facts, which they shouldn't be.
Obviously, as somebody who reads the news, I know about that.
The point is the president has grossly overstated what this statute does.
Yep.
And since you're not familiar with the statute, apparently, let me tell you that
apparently,
some of the exemptions, the limited exemptions, are negligence, knowingly selling to somebody who's not allowed to have a firearm, knowingly making false records, that kind of thing. It is not a blanket immunity.
We need
you to be clear about that because the president, intentionally or unintentionally, is misleading the public on it. Let me move to something else. The stabilizing brace rule is finalized this year, is about set to go into effect in the 1st of June. There's been some discussion about it this morning, but I think most of the American people are not yet aware because the mainstream media is not covering this issue.
Nope.
But here's the facts.
You can't find it anywhere. I mean, you can find a few things.
Constitutional action, okay?
It's YouTubers mainly that have been talking about this. YouTubers are the ones who are like trying to spread the word. Now, this is something I'm telling people all the time. Do not register it with the ATF because they will use that as a means to actually start their rifle registry, their gun registry, because that's how it starts. Now, I'm going to do another video on it, and there's something that I'm going to touch up on that video, and it's the fact of the matter is they're going to make 10 million to 40 million people, law-abiding citizens, criminals, felons, due to this rule change, which is a rule change, not a law. The Senate, the Congress, nobody has voted for it, meaning they can't. It's a fear tactic. They're trying to get those people to sign over their rights, put over their freaking thumbprint, picture, all this other kind of stuff. Don't fall for it. Do not do it at all. And the thing is, you got to think of it like this. They will cause a civil war in this country if they try to arrest 10 to 40 million people and throw them in prison, but yet they won't arrest hardened criminals, drug dealers, gun runners, all that kind of stuff. They're not arresting them. They're not keeping them in jail. They're not throwing them in prison. But yet they're going to arrest you. They're going to throw you in prison and charge you $250,000 fine plus 10 years in prison? Huh, I don't think so.
If you own a stabilizing brace, you're required to register it with ATF, turn it in or destroy it by May 31st, or you're going to face criminal penalties. Mr. Dettelbach, as an attorney, I'm assuming you know what a reliance interest is, right? Familiar with the term?
Oh, this is going to be funny. Watch this.
I'm not sure I'm in agreement with your characterization.
Do you know the term reliance interest? I'm not playing games here.
I'm not playing games here. Yes, that's right, Mr. Johnson.
Respectful. I'm in disagreement with your summary of what the.
I haven't summarized it yet. I'm asking you if you know
about what you said. I'm sorry. About
what is a reliance interest? You were a federal prosecutor. What's a reliance?
Well, we don't use it in federal prosecution, but from being a lawyer, reliance generally, I think, from my days in contracts and as a civil litigator, refers to the idea that in contract law, when somebody relies to their detriment on certain kinds of matters, that they have some legal claims that they might not otherwise have.
Excellent. It's not just confined to contract law, but as a lawyer and knowing that definition, knowing the concept, I mean, does it concern you that for years, law-abiding Americans relied on the ATF's guidance?
10 years, actually. 10 years.
Now due to a regulation, not a law passed by Congress, but a regulation.
Yep.
Millions of them are going to suddenly become felons.
First of all, the law doesn't either ban anything, nor does the rule apply to all stabilizing braces. The rule under the National Firearms Act helps define.
National Firearms Act just needs to go.
What the characteristics of a firearm
needs to go.
With your clarification, is it true or not that millions of Americans will be defined as felons after May 31 if they don't follow this new regulation? True or not?
Yes. That's what their goal is. But actually, the government, at least if they're smart, won't let that happen. If they're smart, they won't let that happen.
Yeah, and I will tell you that federal prosecutions do not happen with respect to law-abiding people who can't have criminal intent established, that is not a priority.
Okay, here's the problem we have. Here's the problem we have. Okay.
Oh my God.
Ohio Attorney General in 2018, your platform included gun control. We know where you stand. Right?
Exactly.
As
that right there, the fact that he went out there and said, "I'm for gun control." In my opinion, if you're a part of the ATF as a director, you shouldn't be for gun control when it comes to law-abiding citizens. It should be gun control for criminals who are violent offenders, people who murder people, people who get them addicted to drugs, sex traffickers, stuff like that. Which, if you actually look at the statistics, since the Biden administration came into office, there's been more child sex trafficking going on. And I mean, it is substantial. It is huge. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But you know what? Hey, we shall continue for the next 20-ish seconds.
As 10 minutes ago, Ms. Jackson Lee, you couldn't answer or define what a so-called assault weapon is. You continue to not be able to do that or refuse to do it. It's clear that you came to ATF with an agenda.
Yep.
I believe, to infringe upon good law-abiding Americans' rights. And you're going to turn them into criminals with this regulation, and you seem to have no remorse about it. I'm out of time, and I yield back.
With respect to...
I didn't ask you a question.
I love that. I didn't ask you a question. He's like, no. He's like, nah. So, Mike Johnson. I am loving this Judiciary Committee right now. I hope they continue to tear them a new one. ATF, FBI, all of it. Everyone that Biden has ever put out. Matter of fact, actually, there was a video I watched yesterday on one of the Biden nominees who was supposed to be put for, God, what was it? Labor and jobs or something like that, right? Well, a part of that story was they have proof and evidence that she gave out over $32 million worth of unemployment funds to people who were not qualified. And more than half of them were in prison when they got it. There was millions of people across the country who were denied. How are they not in prison, right? This shows how corrupt that our system is. And if they do not fix this, the people will. The people will fix this because the people are getting tired. They really are. The Dems don't care because they go, oh, hey, we're untouchable. We can remove you from office. You are there because of the people. And if the people get tired, the people can remove you. Remember that. We're the ones with the power. We're the vote. We're the voice. We are the backbone of this country. If tomorrow, unanimously, the country decides, I'm not going to work, which would be an awesome thing to see. One day where everyone in the United States says, nope, I'm not going to work today. Not a single person. Not police officer, not EMS, not fire, not nobody. Not nobody. Grocery workers, bank workers, nobody. Nobody go to work. Show them who has the voice. And then Democratic leaders are going to get their head out their ass and actually start doing their jobs. Maybe. But at the same time, another video I watched, hopefully it's actually in the line. Hey, stop that, Fluffy. Stop scratching the couch. But Gates goes after one of them, and he wants to void out all their money for anyone who was a part of the ATF who actually has been doing all the illegal stuff, case in point, and taking all their money. Because they've been breaking the law, and as I recall, if you're a criminal and the IRS finds out that you received that money illegally, they seize it, and it becomes government funds. Boom! Let's do it. So, that's it for this video. I got several more after this one. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Catch me for my next one. Later.